the Virgin Mary was raptured. Bronx Catholic here to explain to you what I mean. Okay, I'm using the word raptured so that my Protestant brothers and sisters who believe in that can catch in and be like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean she was raptured? What the heck? When did that happen? How did that happen? Let me tell you how that happened. Us Catholics believe that at the end of Mary's life, she was assumed body and soul into heaven. Body and soul. Her body did not corrupt. The rapture gives the same scenario. Every believer on earth who hadn't died yet will not know corruption. They will be assumed, raptured, taken up into heaven, body and soul. That's what happened to Mary. Hold up. That's what happened to Enoch. Wait, that's what happened to Elijah. You see the pattern? Whereas the rapture scenario is not really true because it was made up by a guy in the early 18th century, but a lot of Protestant sects suck it up and take it to be fact. There is no church historical record that describes that kind of scenario, even though there were some premillennialist early church fathers. But that's millennialism, not rapture, 7 years, not that scenario. That was never taught by the early church fathers. But the Assumption of Mary was. Sure, it may not be explicitly shown in the Bible, which is where I'm going to hear in the comment section, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. As a matter of fact, a couple of things. One, the early church fathers taught that Mary was assumed body and soul in heaven because they were very close to the time period in which this happened. And there's no refutation of that. There was never a group of real Christians, so-called real Christians, there were only Catholics at that time, that had to rise up and defend that because there was nothing to defend. It was a commonly known fact that Mary was taken up to heaven at the end of her life. It is debated whether or not she died first and then was assumed, or whether it happened right before she died. That we do not know, but we do know it happened. Here's another reason. Her tomb is empty, just like her son's. There's no tomb of Mary. You'd think that of all the other saints that we have bone fragments, clothing, hair, of all these saints from going all the way back to then till now, that you'd have at least a little something from the woman who actually carried God the Son in her womb for 9 months, raised him, was at the foot of the cross as he died. You'd think there'd be something, right? There's nothing. Not a hair strand, DNA, no bone fragments, nothing. No body, empty tomb. She was taken up, body and soul, into heaven, just like we will one day when the King of Kings comes back. Whether we're dead or alive at that time, dead or alive, doesn't matter. We're all going to be transformed and changed, like Paul talks about in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. So the next time somebody tells you about the Assumption of Mary and how that's not in the Bible and how that can't possibly be true, that us Catholics made that up, tell them to watch this video.